live and let me know.
Is the mic good with everybody? Like,
yeah, we should be all good. Oh, yeah, so fistful. Any further away, we can't hear. Any closer, it's like Jesus Christ. And if we're talking to each other, just try to be
close.
Yeah, like keep it right here.
I would hate to be doing this for an hour and just you hear nothing.
I had people be like, yeah, man, because you know the meaning of my. I'm like, bitch, no one heard that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, feel free to take it off if you want to. Just don't do like the rubbing the shirt shit.
Yeah, start licking it and shit.
Oh, pinch my nipples! Ah, baby! I'm gonna pinch nipples tonight. I have a regular job too, bro. If my boss sees this one day, freedom of speech, right? Please tell me it's a loophole.
Nah, I think we're good. Yeah.
If not, maybe it'll just blow the show up so much. I gotta fight. You know, I'm crying. Shit, they fired me.
Right.
Because I'm black.
All right, play it.
You gotta go to Black Angle. Fuck you. It's there to use, man. We got at least 300 more years to use that shit. Y'all kiss my black ass.
You crazy shit.
Hey, are we live yet, woman?
Figure out the seating arrangement.
Yeah, man.
So I want to start training with Mo, but we kind of tried last night and she didn't. We live? Oh
no.
Marvin, that fucking fucker.
Oh,
Marvin, you can't be black and late. We gotta stop this shit, dog. Y'all came exactly a half an hour early. We do that so people don't show up late.
Yeah.
And the fucking host is late.
We're also a little more on time than we need to be sometimes.
Is that him? There he is.
There we go. Right on.
Right on late.
Fashionably late, you know.
Yeah, see, that's that fashion. That's that black people past shit. We gotta stop that. Ain't no more fashionably shit.
That's a term.
Okay, Marvin, we're fucking live and you're wasting time.
Jake Wilkes just said to Joey.
Yo. All right, watch the wire. We live now. You might as well hop in the seat. Nigga, do you want to get on the show? We like live.
I know. I got the notification. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
For all those watching,
Hey, what's going on,
wondering
brother?
what the fuck we're doing. We're unprofessional. You Gucci? Mic check.
Gucci.
Shawn, you good?
Yeah, think so. Mic check.
See if Mom is good.
Yeah.
Oh! I had to have him look the fucking other way. Yeah. It's not safe for motherfucking ears. What are we doing? Jesus Christ, I'm gonna die with you. What are we?
At least we know your lungs work.
What are we doing today, Marvin?
Man.
Marvin was late. Fuck you.
We got two beasts in the house.
You got two beasts, bro.
Two beasts on the movement right now.
Two beasts.
Like, yeah, I had to.
What's your name, bro?
My name's Shawn.
Are we on?
Sean Sousa.
Oh, we're on.
Oh, we're on.
Shit, we are on.
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
I was not saying we're on.
This is Vince Mocha.
I'm Vince Mocha.
Mocha. Is it Mocha?
Mocha?
No, it's Mosca.
Nope, it's Mocha.
It's Mocha now, nigga. It's Mocha
That
now.
R&B album coming out. It's like,
Mocha latte.
I got two motherfucking people I respect. A friend of mine's over here. I've trained with for years, and one of his protege students slash soulmate slash bromate slash matmate slash fondle victim slash.
I mean,
he
you
needs
just
to
gonna
do
keep
jujitsu
going? I mean,
to have him as my fondle victim.
Fondle victim. Jesus Christ.
Fondle victim.
Let's give him a hand clap real quick. Thank you so much for coming on. Not safe for ears.
Yeah.
Let's just all sit here for a second.
Let's all sit here and take it all in.
Just gonna soak it in.
Soak it all
So
in.
let's all just look at Ellie. Ellie's in the corner. Just look at her. Everyone just look at Ellie.
Hello.
Breathe into the mic, everybody. Just breathe
How you
into the
doing?
mic and look at Ellie.
You want the mic so you can tell me fuck off?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
A little hungover. We had our holiday party at the gym.
Oh.
And, yeah, it was rough. That was about it.
But that's good, though.
Feel good.
It should be rough.
I'm off today. It's all good.
Nice.
That's even better.
It's good.
How you feeling, champ?
My back hurts a little bit. I walked in a line and got
Who hurt you?
whipped. You
Oh,
know, all
yeah,
the black
yeah.
belts,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brown belt.
Yeah, I got my brown belt yesterday. So that was
Oh,
cool.
congratulations,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so
You can kill everybody in this room. You
Not
can, you can kill me. You can kill Marvin.
Not Ellie.
I'd prefer not to. But
Ellie, you doing any grappling? No.
She did one day.
Yeah, you can kill Ellie.
Sometimes that's all you need. Might save your life.
Hey, Marvin, how does this ear look on that side? Because this eye say, leave me the fuck alone.
fine.
Yeah, no.
It's
This
only-
would have been way worse, but every day my dad was yelling at me, like, yo, fucking drain that. You have, like, it looks like Shrek. He literally said it looks like Shrek, and I was like, all right, I don't know.
Remember when you didn't want to drain your ear because
Yeah.
you thought it looked cool?
Yeah,
I
no,
hope you
I,
put
I
that
Well-
ear
did.
again.
I tell you what, it's don't mess with me here. Jesus fucking Christ.
No,
Like
just
somebody
like, someone starts to fight with me, I'm like, I couldn't hear you. What you
Cauliflower.
say?
I can't see it though.
Yeah, show him your ear. Don't
Oh,
fuck with him.
okay, gotcha.
It,
Yeah,
it,
that's
it was way worse though. I was sparring with this guy named I think it was Matt Skabicki that I was sparring with, or it might have been Jeff Glossner, and we were in a scramble, and then after the round, I was like, my ear fucking hurts, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh, this shit swelled up like big. And I've been wanting cauliflower ear for the longest time, but it
been
didn't.
wanting this disfigurement
It,
for a
it
while.
didn't
I've been
happen.
wanting it. I've
It,
been
it, it just
wanting it.
wasn't happening. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and then one day it just appeared, and just to let you know, it hurts a lot more than you would think it would. It
Mm.
feels like you have a big bruise on your ear, and every time you're grappling or anything, it gets bumped. It feels like you got, hit by a paintball or something like that. It hurts a lot.
Shit.
Yeah,
damn.
no. No,
Hit
I
by
don't- I don't
paintball in
like-
the ear.
Yeah, no.
Shit,
terrible.
that hurts.
It hurts really bad. And I actually saw this video on YouTube. This kid wanted to get cauliflower, so they held his ear against some metal and they hammered
Was
his
he a
ears.
white kid?
Yeah,
No, they
he
were
had to
Russian.
be.
They were Russian.
Oh,
Well, that's
Yeah,
super
yeah,
white.
close.
That's
Yeah.
the next
That's
level.
like
That's next level
white.
shit.
And I would not mean that in a disrespectful way at all. Like they
Yeah,
super,
they are
like
super.
Khabib white.
Super white.
Yeah, they.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know what to say about them.
Yeah, they're different.
So
Yeah,
he wanted cauliflower, man.
Yeah, no,
That's
I wanted
crazy.
it.
Rob Sullivan had to get surgery on it because his shit, I think, I don't know like the terms of it, it hardened so much that
Calcified. I
he
think.
had to cut into his ear and pull the fragments out of his ear. 'Cause
damn.
he couldn't hear, he couldn't put an earphone in and all that shit. It was bad.
That's why
Damn, that's
I'm always
serious.
nice
Wax
to
was
Rob.
building up and shit.
Shout him out. His shirt's over there in the corner.
Yeah, Rob Sullivan.
Hey, somebody slap your dick on Rob's shirt. No.
will.
All right.
Wait a minute.
I didn't sign up for
So,
that.
MMA professional fighter.
Yeah.
Brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Undefeated amateur career. How many amateur fights?
I had 5, should have had 6, but this one guy pulled out the week before, and I was so pissed because that's when I used to cut to 125, and I was probably walking around at like 146, 148, and I don't have much fat, so like.
Yeah,
it
I'm
would-
looking at your fucking bicep, bro. Look at his bicep, bro.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it.
So yeah, camp was going perfect. I was cutting a lot of, I diet the way down so that way the week isn't too bad. I'm not too dehydrated. I mean, you're dehydrated. I'm cutting like 10 pounds the week of, but it was going well. Like the best camp I had ever had beside my last one, and he pulled out because he was sick or something like that. But he posted a picture at the gym like the same day I found out, or like a couple
Sure,
days
6.
later.
The
Well,
kickboxing match.
yeah, I had the kickboxing match too, but as far as MMA goes, I had 5 and should have had 6, but he pulled out, and I was gonna beat the shit out of him because he fought my teammate and like barely beat him, and I was like 3 times as good as my teammate, so I was like, oh, if they had a close fight, then I'm gonna murk him. And yeah, I was really pissed. I started kicking trash cans and shit. Felt like crying.
Yo, you and Vince
Oh yeah,
fucking,
you. Oh, you
match
got an
made
attitude
that.
problem.
Cause like,
Don't fuck with
Kick
him.
trash cans? Come on, you're my
because
dick.
I was just
Right.
starving. I just starved myself basically
Looks
for
like
like 5 weeks for no reason. And yeah.
Right.
Hold, let's stay there for a second. Before we go back, like we always like to do and know the history and all that, right?
Yeah.
I hear this a lot in the group chat or amongst my fighter friends. People sign up, say they're gonna fight, and they pull out. What the fuck is going? I mean, why is that a thing? Especially at the amateur level, is it like people feel like they get a pass because it's an amateur fight that you could just
Yeah.
pull out?
Yeah. Because
People deal with bad nerves too the week of the fight, and I think there's like.
oh,
lot of
I got a
ways out.
story.
I didn't know
for
you
this.
had that choice though. You
I-
just
I mean,
fucking
as an
pull out.
I got a
amateur,
story
you
for
definitely
this.
don't, and pro you shouldn't, but people do it.
Right. That's my thing. Like, you should be on contract or something like that on paper. If I bitch up, then I owe you some money.
Yeah, there's like no penalty for it. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, that-
you
they
take
need to have-
photos and posts, and then they like,
I remember years ago, fucking the Thursday of the fight, I called her because I was cutting to 170, and that was fucking hell. Guy broke his tooth eating a sandwich the day before the fucking weigh-in. You know, I'm on the way to the weigh-in. I'm calling Ellie, like Jesse tells me, I'm calling Ellie like fucking crying because like I'm fucking dehydrated as shit. I felt terrible. Like it was a lot of weird shit. If you do that the week of, you're a piece of shit. Son of a bitch.
it's like, come on, bro. I'm gonna knock your teeth out anyway.
Right.
Why you eat the
Don't let me
sandwich
catch you on the
before
streets,
weigh-in?
bitch.
Why do you eat a sandwich on
It's
the day
like
of the weigh-in?
Khabib eating tiramisu the
Yeah,
a couple days.
Fight. Yeah, yeah.
Man, so I didn't end up fighting this kid, but I have a story regarding people pulling out. I say, their pull-out game's strong, unlike
That's
their
what
fathers.
he said.
So this this little.
Oh, time's up, bro. That shit was so dry but hilarious.
All right, so
That
yeah.
was so scary. He was like, pull up.
So yeah, the joke is in the
People
amateur
fuck you
career,
up, you
since
say something.
everyone pulls out all the time, like their pull-out game's strong, unlike their fathers.
Their
you know,
pull-out.
Yeah. So there was this little fucker from Kentucky, and I swear if you ever talk shit to me again, I might come to Kentucky and beat your ass. Anyways, so
Damn. Call out.
No. Here's what it was. So I have no idea who he is. He's had no MMA fights at all, and I was an amateur champion at the time. And he comes commenting on like my YouTube videos, which were school projects, my Facebook, saying I'm a pussy, and he's gonna like beat my. He's like, I'm gonna come halfway
he's a
across the
troller.
country and beat your ass.
Didn't
like,
know you at all. No common friends or anything.
I didn't know him at all. This little string bean from Kentucky. I found his kickboxing match. He quit halfway. Like after the first round, he literally walked out of the cage. They were doing kickboxing in a cage. And I was like, yo, like,
Nothing wrong with that.
have an MMA fight first, and if you do good, you can fight me. I don't think you should fight a champion in your first fight. And he's just talking all this shit. He's, like, hacking into his friends' Facebook's accounts, and, like, they're talking shit to me on there and, like, having arguments with all my friends. So, anyways, this,
Why do people like this?
That's the.
So
I hate to say it,
anyways,
that's some people's human nature
he's
to be a
set
troll.
to fight at Cagezilla for the 115-pound title, my friend. And my friend was going to whoop his ass. And he weighs in, the fight's set. Literally right before they're about to get called out to the fight, he says, I don't feel good, I can't fight.
I think that happened to Pat Rivera
And
like
it got
8
scrapped.
times.
So he was talking all this
shit.
shit to me, and then he pulls out 5 minutes before the fight with some kid that like I trained with him and I was tooling him. So like I was like, okay, this game ain't for you. So I don't understand. Some people just think they can fight and talk all this crap on the internet. It makes no sense.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm nice to every fucking body. Vincent, it may come off as I'm kissing ass, but see, I realize that if I can kind of fight and I ain't shit, I'm scared of every fucking body. I'm like. I see that shit. I'm like, nah, bro. Hey, how you doing? My name is Nicholas Austin, and I am a great person.
I'm a great
I like
person.
playing puzzles and shit. Like, I'm not fucking
like
around.
playing
You got
puzzles.
other people who are like, they would see your video and be like, I could beat your ass, bro. I never understood that shit.
Nah.
I don't know. People.
Yeah,
just-
people do that.
Yeah, I don't understand it. either.
Okay, so let's take a 10
Yep,
years
go
of
ahead.
experience, martial arts.
Take it all the way back.
What?
So let's go.
How old are you?
I'm
Take-
23.
Woo!
So I started when I was.
You little young whippersnapper. I'm mad
Man,
now.
like 8 years ago.
So you
Where's
want
your
me to go all the
babysitter?
way back?
Yeah, let's go back. Why'd you jump into it?
Take it all the way
Was
back.
Was it
Okay.
a bullying thing? Was it you just
No.
nervous energy?
I'm really good at making friends, so never really got bullied. And even if somebody tried to, one of my friends said, "Nah, I got your back." Because I was always the smallest guy. I'm not too big now, but I was really small growing up. And we used to watch WWE, and for the longest time, I thought I was going to be a
Hey, Vince,
professional
fuck you, Vince.
wrestler. Like, I'm named after Shawn Michaels. I walked out to, like, the
Oh,
first
shit.
30 seconds of my song were his song, because I was like, Vince, we're going to do it. And then,
So you're still a big wrestling fan?
no, I haven't watched it in years. I'll
No.
get back to that later.
Did you
All
see
right.
how see how firm that no was? No.
I did really enjoy it. I watched it religiously. But all my friends and we watch it. Like, we'd order WrestleMania. We'd watch every event. I actually went to WrestleMania when Trump was there and he rained all the money, but it wasn't actually money. It was like fake.
That wasn't real
Oh
money?
shit.
No, it wasn't
Oh,
real money.
fuck, I had no
WrestleMania
idea.
23.
Oh,
I saw it, and
shit.
what pissed me off
really thought it was
is
real money.
it didn't rain on my side. It rained on the other side of the arena. So I was like, damn, I want some money, but then I saw it wasn't real money. So yeah, I went to a lot of those events, and we used to just go into my backyard on my trampoline after school and beat the shit out of each other for years. And since I was so small, I had to fight the hardest, and I'd get my ass kicked every day. But that's what we did for fun. My dad's secretary would be like, "Oh my God, they're killing each other. How can you let them do that?" He's like, "They're boys. They're gonna do that." So I got bored of WWE one day because it just got so predictable. Like, I could be like, "Oh, Jeff Hardy's gonna do this move. He's gonna miss, and then he's gonna get pinned."
Right.
Like, it just got too boring for me. So I started watching UFC around when Chuck got knocked out by Rampage, and my dad was watching it too, and I was like, "Yo, I'm watching this." I learned how to do an armbar from that, so that's when the turning point happened. I started catching my friends in armbars and like ankle locks just from watching UFC, and I was like, "Yeah, let me try this out."
You guys were sparring in, or you?
No,
were you doing those
No,
moves
you
in
was playing
wrestling
around on
and
the
shit?
trampoline and
That's
shit.
yeah, we
fucked
were
up.
just
They like
playing
You were
around
back
in
on the
wrestling,
trampoline
like-
again?
Armbar them.
No,
shit.
we would go to submission or pin. You can never pin someone
Okay.
on a trampoline because you
Okay.
can just bounce. But we would go till submission, and we were all tough, so it would be like 2 hours just going back and forth beating the crap at each other. No punches, but basically doing jujitsu, but with no technique. And he took me to.
Sound like me.
We went.
Oh,
We went to a
you want to get it
jujitsu
started on
gym
me.
and did the free, first day trial. And I was like, "Yo, I love this. Like, I think this is what I want to
And
do."
where was this at?
Crazy 88.
Crazy 88.
Yeah.
Elkridge?
Yeah. I won't go into the details of why I'm not there anymore.
I won't either.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, my dad and them didn't get along too much. Long story short. So yeah, I went there and I said, yeah, sign me up. And then I just never stopped. And then I didn't think I ever wanted to fight, but then as I kept doing it more and more, he's like, maybe you should try a fight out. And then I was like, I'll only have one. Then I'm done. And then I went in there, worked my ass off, and choked him unconscious in like 30 seconds, I think.
This is while you were at Crazy 88.
No,
This-
this is way after.
just-
So
yeah, this is way
I never
after.
stopped. I ended up at Ground Control Columbia actually, and then there was some stuff going on there. I was training like one summer. I was there from. I'd have my mom drop me off in the morning when it opened, and I leave when it would close. So throughout all my years of training, I've experimented with how much you should train. Like I've done it where you train closed or open to close. I've done it where you train an hour a day. I've done it where you train 3 times a week. I've tried everything, and I found out that it wasn't necessarily how much you were training, because when I was doing like 5 hours of training a day, the next day I'd go to practice and my body was just so broken down I could barely do 20 push-ups. So I found it was be more consistent in your training and just always train, but you don't necessarily have to go balls to the walls the whole time, except sometimes he tells me I need to tone my pace down a little bit so I can go the next day.
What's the dude? Is it Pavlo? I don't know if it's Pavlo. Joe Rogan talks about him a lot.
Faraz Sahabi, maybe.
I think
He
he,
had a-
he
he had a
also
big
likes
piece
that.
of that,
So he
yeah.
talks about how you more consistency and not going full, like not going to get your max every day.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
going super hard.
Right.
Rather, get 5 or 6 quality
Yeah,
days.
get your
in.
volume in, but don't
Right.
overdo it.
So I
He
guess
was
that's the
saying,
same
like,
thing
if
you
I do
talking about.
5 sets of 5 pull-ups every day and you do 3 sets of 10, by the end of the year, you're not going to have enough
Exactly.
juice in the tank to keep going.
Yeah. So that makes sense. When the fuck did you run into this guy right here?
Right.
So I started going to Towson last year, the fall semester. I transferred there, got my associate's degree from Howard Community College in general studies. Ain't I smart,
He's a smart guy, and he can whoop
general
your ass.
studies. So I transferred to Towson, and right before I transferred, so I have to go back a little bit. Sorry, my story's out of order. When I was training at Evolve at the time, Mike
Quentin
Moses,
Tarantino
he's
style.
the fucking man. He kept telling me, why the fuck are you going to school? He's like, you're too good at this sport. I don't tell this to any of my fighters, but you could be at the top of the sport if you just dedicate yourself to it. Like, you shouldn't be going to school. Time is not on your side. You need to go gung-ho for this and just go after it. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Drop out of school? Like, that goes against everything society's talking about. And he kept, every time I come to the gym, he's like, Shawn, why are you at school still? Like, why are you doing this?
Oh,
And-
shit.
Well, I was fighting amateur while
It's
I
kind
was
of
at
flattering
school.
though, right?
It
like,
is. It
shit,
gotta
baby,
be.
huh?
Somebody telling you, go
I
ahead,
never
deep.
tried to
Did he
like.
only say this after he collected your membership fee?
Nah, he gave me he gave me the hookup on the membership
Okay,
fee
all right,
actually.
Because then I see the hustle.
Yeah. So he'd tell me this every day, and I'm like, like I kind of brush it off. Maybe I want to fight professional. At the time, while I was in amateur career, I'd have a lot of moments where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. Like, you hit that breaking point while you're in a training camp. You're not eating, you're hungry, and you have to train 4 hours that night, and you're like, why am I doing this? And I was like, each fight, I wasn't sure if I'd have another fight, because I'm like, I don't think I can do this, because I was cutting to 125. And then so having my amateur career, I go 5-0 with all first round finishes while I'm doing school.
What kind
And,
of finishers?
4 submissions. I choked 2 people unconscious, 1 in armbar, 1 in rear naked choke, and
the
then
way
I
you
knocked.
say it lets me know you have Dexter inside of you.
Right,
I'm just-
I
I'm
choked
just
him
monotone.
unconscious.
I'm
Killed
just
4
monotone.
people, 8 one of them.
I'm
Two of
I'm
them,
just
ate 2 of them.
monotone.
Half the
And then
Just no remorse.
I like it though, bitch. My nipples hard.
I won an amateur title, and that was the only knockout I got as an amateur. And then my last fight as an amateur, I gained some weight, like, just naturally, because I was growing in between one of my fights, and I was like, if I ever hit 150, I'm never going back down to 25. And then he was like, you have a title to defend. I was like, you can give it to somebody else. I'm doing what's right for me. So I've been at 35 ever since, and I haven't gained any weight since then. I think this is probably where I'm gonna. I walk around at like 150.
Okay.
So like a 15-pound weight cut's easy. Like, I naturally flowed off. I could, like, this Shogun camp, I was I got down to like 143 within like 2 weeks, and then
Okay.
I had to eat to maintain my weight. So that's a lot better than starving myself. So yeah, my coach kept telling me, "Yo, you shouldn't be going to school.
Go to
Like
school,
you
fight."
you need to fight because you're never gonna know until you do it." And then right before my dad co-signed the lease for my apartment at Towson, he's like, "Are you sure you're not gonna fight professional after I sign this lease?" And I was like, "Yeah, Dad, no, I'm sure." And then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, "Yo, I think I want to fight on Shogun in October." He's like, "You motherfucker, you fucking lied to me."
Shit.
He's like,
He's ready to
"What
choke your
the
ass
fuck?"
out.
He's like,
I'll
"I've
show
already
you
paid,
arm bar.
I already paid the first month's rent. What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I was like, "All
Thanks,
right."
Dad.
He was like, "You're not fighting professional while you're at school." He's like, "If we're gonna do this, you're going for it." So I was like, "All right, let me spend a year there." I had a kickboxing match in
Hold,
between.
time's out. So
Oh yeah, we not gonna
lied
speed
to your
past that.
father.
I
He didn't
end
lie
up-
to
I
him. He
didn't
didn't
end up
lie to
fighting.
him.
I didn't end up fighting.
He sound really supportive. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
my
Hold
dad,
on.
my
Wait,
dad
wait,
is
wait,
my
time out.
dad's the fucking man.
Hold on, time out. First of all, we're not gonna speak. Yeah, we can't speed past that part because that really puts a significance on somebody who wants to cultivate that person's talent or whatever the case may be. But for just to hear that part, rewind just a tad bit. So
Okay.
first of all, you didn't lie because you weren't sure. You
Yeah.
just weren't sure. You
Yeah.
didn't make up your mind, correct?
Mhm.
All right. So then you tell your dad 2 weeks after you sign the lease, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Because I had already started training at ground control. I hadn't met him yet, and I was like, I'm able to juggle my training at a decent amount while going to school. Like I think I
At a
can do
steady
this.
pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I had done. Like I was on Dean's List all throughout like college. I had like a 3.7 GPA
Nerd.
while training for these fights. So I
That's
was like,
Vince.
I was like, why won't you let me do this? Like I can manage both of them. If any, the reason why I would do it because I was like, later on in life, I'm going to need to juggle 8 different things at once and learn how to stay calm while doing it. Well, I'm going to train for a fight, work, and do school, so I know how to manage my time like that. So that's why I would do it. That's why, like, I wanted, after I won my amateur title, I was like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, why don't you get another fight? I think it would be good for you. Like, you should push yourself. And then I was like, you know what? You're right. So then I did it, and I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna keep doing it. But yeah, I didn't lie to him. I just wasn't sure. I was
Shawn,
like,
he asked how you met me.
oh, how did I met?
So how'd you guys
Oh,
eventually? He's like, so I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. And this
Sorry.
fucking white guy touched me shoulder. Says, hey man, look, I like that ear.
I got bad ADD.
No,
No,
you
it's
doing good.
no
Listen,
because
give
look,
us
I,
the
look,
timeline.
I-
So,
yeah, I mean it was part of the timeline. Like you said, you had to do the
so
Quentin
you in a strip
Tarantino thing
club
and go
and
back.
Vince walks up to you and says, hey man, how old are you?
I
know
hate
what
strip
you've been up
clubs.
here
But so yeah, I was at ground control for a little bit. The first I was because of my school schedule, I was training in the mornings, and John Gray was running the classes. So I hadn't
John,
really-
the same John we know?
yeah.
Pretty
So
boy John.
yeah, Zac Efron. He looks like.
Cut him,
Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron. Jesus.
So yeah, I finally started going to the night classes, and I somehow knew who he was, like, cause I mean he has a lot of fights, so you're gonna know people in the community. So, hey, you're Vince, right? He was like, yeah, I'm the Muay Thai coach here. So then I started doing his classes, and I fell in love with the classes. Like I didn't really, my dad was my striking coach at the point, so yeah, he is really supportive of my career and whatnot. And then I started going to this, and my dad was like, you seem to really like Muay Thai. You keep coming back. I was like, Vince is doing a really good job. And then I was like, maybe I might want to do one of these kickboxing matches because he keeps telling me about them. So that's when like our relationship skyrocketed between coach and.
Perfect, right there. So
That's dope.
when you first run into this guy, Vince, first of all, hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
I haven't seen you in a
Beard
while.
looking good?
You look good too, man.
Beat eating ass?
You look.
My man. All right.
Hey yo.
Wait a minute.
So you run into this guy. He comes to you, says, "Hey man, what's up at the Muay Thai class? I like what you're doing over here. When can I take a class?" What was your initial impression about him?
I think I saw him grappling one day, and he was kind of fucking everybody up a little bit. He came into the classes, and he was real explosive. I could tell he had some experience, but like I knew he maybe didn't have like kickboxing experience in
Right.
that. He started like hopping into like our sparrings and our training sessions and stuff like that, and he kind of just fit in with the group pretty well because we had a few guys around his weight, and he just kind of hit it off with everybody. And he was only training with us for maybe 3 months, and we did one of the tournaments in South Carolina, which was the IKF tournament, and we
So
were.
no crazy. His kickboxing background pretty much started with you.
Yeah, he had one amateur kickboxing match against a guy with like 12 fights, but that was really his own. He had like MMA fights, but they were all quick submission wins or quick knockout wins. So
Right.
and he kind of wanted to take that next step, and like it kind of naturally progressed to where I could help him with his striking a little bit, and he already had all the tools. It was just kind of piecing them together. You know, so that's kind of how it started. But his kickboxing, he didn't really have any experience in straight kickboxing until he got to ground control.
Did you test him? You know that coach test. We all do the coach test.
I
right?
mean, yeah.
You think you're tough?
Yeah.
Who'd you put him in? Put him in
Every,
with John, maybe? Put him in with somebody?
I mean, every week. I mean, the ground control is probably not a mystery. Every week is pretty much a test. You know what I mean? So, some people get weirded out by that. But no, he was there. I mean, he was there the whole time. Like, we have those Tuesday nights at the old gym to where it was better than a lot of fight cards in the area, and that sounds scary to some people. Like, everybody was respectful. Nobody's getting knocked the fuck out or anything like that. But he was with Joey, the kid Robbie Flynn, himself. He's a slick motherfucker. Robbie's slick as a motherfucker.
Yeah. He still fighting?
Yeah. He's getting the shit together. He's trying to make the MMA switch. He's going to be a serious fucking problem. Joey, when he was a little more consistent, was good. And then he was in there, and, you know, I thought it would be a good idea for him. What I noticed with a lot of MMA guys in the area is they kind of hop into pro after 3-4 amateur fights. They have decent jiu-jitsu, they got shitty striking, and after they win a couple fights on the local scene, they're kind of done because they never really progressed. I thought it would be like a good idea for him to do a little bit of striking before he turned pro because he's a brown belt jiu-jitsu. He's wrestled in high school. He's a phenomenal grappler. He hits hard as fuck. He's quick. I wanted him to kind of put one full camp together with kickboxing just to kind of get a little bit of confidence, get something out of it. I honestly didn't give a shit if he won or lost. He ended up winning, which was great. But I thought that'd be very useful for him to go pro. And, like, I saw all the potential his old coach at Evolve saw, so it kind of made sense for him to do that before he takes that next step and that next step and that next step. So it worked out. It went really well. So it was between, like, January to March, we had a hard camp. We were working a little bit before then. I think he'll admit that camp was very beneficial to him getting as good as he is now. You know what I mean? So,
nice.
Yeah.
Me knowing a little bit more of the backstory of, like, John, Joey, and my young man right here, they're different personality styles. And I've seen you evolve as well. As like the Vince I fucking know that's wild and crazy, but also a great coach. How do you, I guess, pick and play and mix match your teaching styles to fit maybe more of a monotone, like straight ahead versus fucking John, who's wild as shit, versus Joey?
Sean's a wild man too, but it's just they're all just kind of different, but it's all one universal language with the fight shit. It's like,
that's dope.
You know, if one person could do it, you know, we all can do it. Shit, we all can do it. It all works out. Kind of. Fuck this mic. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it all kind of works out. I mean, I coached different styles of different people. The way I coach John, the way I coach Shawn, the way I coach her, the way I coach Robbie.
Ellie.
You
can get your ass on.
But yeah, I coach them all differently. But it's, you know, we all kind of hit it off. We're all a big family. We all, you know, it all works out either way. Like, I know how to talk to everybody. It's not like I can't talk to him because I can talk to John. I can't talk to John because I know how to make it work. Like, it's not.
That's smart, because a lot of coaches don't know how to do that shit. That's where it fucks up though, is because it fucks up relationship between two people. Yeah. Where all it had to do was be a different tone. It could be just a different saying, whatever the case is.
Everybody's got different attributes. Everybody's got different, you know, things they do well, things they don't do well. And there's different ways to reach everybody. Like, the way I can't talk to everybody the same way. Like, there's different. I know me as a fighter, I'm a fucking head case. Like, you can't just give me some little motivational speech and expect me to be, oh fuck, now I got it. Okay, thanks. You know, I'm a different kind of guy. Some people are different. He's giggling on the way to the cage. Like, he's literally smiling in the cage at Shogun. Like, this is so cool. Like, he's literally about to fight a dude for money. And maybe he's just fucking naive and stupid. I don't fucking know. Like, but either way, he's, like, enjoying it. He loves it. Like, I'm wrapping his hands at IKF at the kickboxing match. Never done kickboxing. He's fighting a guy with, like, a 9-2 record. He's smiling. He's so fucking excited. Everybody else is in the back, like, breathing heavy, like, fucking nervous. And that's fine, because that's how I was. But he was just, like, so fucking excited about it, which is, like, to me, that's fucking cool. Like, that's, like, so cool.
You don't gotta worry about that part of it.
No, like, I know he's there. It ain't that. Like, I've seen it in the room enough times. I know how he thinks. I know what he does. So, yeah. So.
Why aren't you scared?
It goes back to wrestling. So like, it really sucks that I can't, like, give you a short answer. I have to go back and then relate it to how that goes. So,
it won't be a 25-minute.
No. I'll make it short. I'll try my best.
Grab somebody.
All right. So yeah, I really hated wrestling, and then junior year in wrestling, I lost at regionals and didn't qualify for states. And I remember going in the back and crying because I was like, damn, I was like barely losing to these people, and I should have made it. And I was like, I hated wrestling. And I was like, it made me love it. Losing that match, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna dedicate myself to this. So I spent a whole off season wrestling with the best people, like national champions, state champions. Competing as much as I can, and then fast forward to next season, we're at the same tournament, we're at regionals. You have to qualify top 4 to make it to states, and I lost in the semis, and then I lost in the Conti semis to the guy that I already beaten twice, and I didn't qualify. So it caused me depression for a while, actually, because I worked my ass off, and there were people that didn't work as hard as me, and they got results that I wanted. And I kind of brought that into MMA, and then just knowing that you can lose doesn't, like, I know the worst outcome, so I'm like, I've trained my ass off. There's no reason for me to be nervous. Like, so I've just competed so much that I'm like, it's another competition, just bigger stage. I always wanted, when I was in wrestling, to make it to the finals of a tournament so I could do the finals walkout and have everybody looking at me and cheering and, like, all eyes on me. So every fight now, even as an amateur, I got to walk out with all eyes on me and, like, everyone want to see me fight. And I was like, now that's fucking cool. I get to do what I love, and a bunch of people are, like, looking at me. I might get knocked out, but I believe in my training, especially with a guy like him. Like, I'm going to know what to do while I'm in there. So I'm like, you know, I've gone over the worst case scenarios in my head the whole camp 8 billion times. I've thought of every way I could lose, so I don't think it's going to happen. I actually, before going into any fight, I think, what if I go out there and just completely shit the bed? I'm like, I know what I should do, but that could happen. So I'm
It's
like,
a possibility.
I've had the internal battle with myself in my head over and over again the whole camp, where I'm like, once I make it to there and I start warming up, I'm like, oh, it's time to go. I'm putting the work. That's all you can do. Just train hard, and you should be able to.
Marvin, Vince, how important is it in your day-to-day struggles in life to constantly replay all the different variables and ways it could go down to make the actual moment that much easier to deal with? As a coach, and I know my buddy over here, he's a professional trainer. Man. He like to stay fit and shit. He don't eat Oreo cookies and all that other shit you talk about.
I got a bag
How
of
important is
Oreos
it to,
I'm
like,
trying to get to
constantly
now.
Visualize. Like, I think we talked about it a little bit last time you were on here with John, but it's not always the physicality of it, right? A lot of it's
mental.
Maybe 90% of it's the mental part, the aspect of being comfortable and calm in that place.
It's not as much as a coach now, but I think that the mental is the hugest part. The hugest. The fuck am I talking about? The
I
biggest
said
part.
no better the other day.
Hugest, better.
Somebody call up Webster.
I think the mental is the biggest part of the game. I think that's why he does so well. And as a coach, the only thing I can really do with that is try to keep him grounded. Like, when he's like, when I knock this guy out, I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, humble
up just a little bit.
Fight, you know what I mean?
Like, you want him to be confident, but you don't want him to be overconfident.
No, I mean, I think I don't think there's anything wrong with letting the thought of losing get into your mind. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking, like, well, I could lose this fight. If I lose this fight, this is what happens. Like, it's good to kind of have that there, because it's like a healthy fear. I never, like, put that in his head, but it's more like, let's get through every round, let's get through every day of training, let's get to the fight first. So I mean, just really keeping him grounded is the only thing. As far as fighting is concerned, I think the visualization is fucking everything. You need to replay every scenario. You need to kind of understand what you're getting into, and, like, not overthink it, but make sure all the bases are covered. You know what I mean? So, like he said, it was a competition. He's already been there enough times to where, like, some people it's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get into a fight. Right. He literally just it's just a competition. Like, if he loses, he loses. He wins, he wins. But you know, he's training to win, so it's a lot easier for him. It takes those nerves away a little bit.
You got a background in football. This is probably a better example compared to weightlifting.
Well, I mean, regardless of either fact.
Well, I mean, you never get knocked out in weightlifting.
Yeah, you're right.
But
I mean, unless you drop that motherfucking weight, that's a different story. I've seen people get knocked out, but not just by another person.
Right.
But I think that just even from a mental standpoint of him replaying, you know, those scenarios in his head and understanding that, yeah, loss could be a factor, but at the same token, having that kind of momentum going on in your brain, and if you've already been through those scenarios 100 million different times, then obviously it's going to take away the fear, because when you visualize it to a point where you've seen it happen already in so many times, that the fear kind of I want to say fades out.
Becomes familiar.
Yeah, you're like, look, I've trained, I've done what I had to do day in and day out. I replayed. If I lose, then I have to take my L, whatever the case may be. But mentally, you go in there satisfied because you're like, I've taken an L in my brain, but I don't have to take it physically. You know what I mean? So overall, it's just, you know, it plays a major factor into when he goes into that ring and he already has, like, all right, all the fear is gone because you've already extinguished it. So having that and being able to go full throttle, I think that's what makes him even more dangerous. I mean, and yeah, Coach Vince probably got to tell him, like, yeah, you got to calm down, humble up just a little bit, whatever the case is. But, you know, that takes a part of being a coach, too. Like, don't go in there over-excited, over-exhilarated, because, you know, that takes away from you. I mean, not just mentally, but physically, too, a little bit.
This motherfucker asked me about 3 weeks before
Get
the
the
fight.
right there.
Sorry, this motherfucker asked me about 3 weeks before the fight.
Flight.
Should I throw a flying knee? Right off the bell, and I was like,
What fight? This is the IKF?
A pro debut. And me and the jiu-jitsu coach were like, man, like it's probably not gonna end up like Masvidal. Maybe you just shouldn't do it for your pro debut. Motherfucker comes out, touches gloves very politely, takes one step back, throws the fucking flying knee.
Does it land?
Yes, his
And it
pro
lands.
debut. It was like to the body. It was good. But like, I wish there was a camera in the corner to see me and Barry, because me and Barry are both simultaneously like, fuck. God. It worked
Like,
out.
yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah. There was a flying knee in his pro debut.
That's funny.
First, second of the fight. I was like, you son.
That's
First,
that,
second of the fight.
What do the French call it? A je ne sais quoi? It's that intangible. It's that you can't teach that. Sometimes motherfuckers like, hey man, can I just do a cartwheel kick?
Yeah, like, no.
Like we didn't prep, but go fucking
Go
do it.
do
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it and you feel comfortable,
Bastard.
that's something I can't instill in you.
Whenever,
You know?
like everybody thinks of the flying knee, they think of like Masvidal, Askren. I think of like Fedor Orlovsky, to where like it just failed miserably, and motherfucker was like,
Like
just like,
mid-air.
yeah, like I was like, fuck, man.
So how's
it
your
worked out, it worked out.
how's your love life affected with all this fucking training? Young man,
You know,
testosterone,
Dick in his butt.
hair,
Really? Did he's
life.
if we're
Fucking wanna hug
being
men all day and shit.
if we're being honest, that's the only part of my life that's lacking. I don't understand it at all. I think I have all the qualities. It's just
I'd fuck him.
yeah.
Hey, by the way, this is not safe for ears. We're just fun people having fun.
Yeah,
talks.
we're just gonna have fun with this.
Yeah, I am busy a lot, but I don't know. Any ladies listening to this, I would like a girlfriend, but
He said he eats ass, ladies.
you know, all the time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So
Oh,
I
no,
have never done it once. I heard it tastes like copper, and I'm not very interested.
Bro, that's called. Oh, Ellie's here. Ellie, you're such a beautiful person.
Ellie, you are beautiful.
And I really don't want to offend you.
Who
So we're not.
So go ahead.
Yeah, but
I mean,
if
did
you take
anybody
some
give her the
copper-
disclaimer before she walked through the door?
Yeah, Ellie knows what's
Oh,
up.
okay,
Look,
all right,
Ellie
I'm
OG.
just making sure.
She been a look.
She knows that.
She's
She's been around.
She's good.
Oh yeah, true. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
But if that's copper, it's probably blood and it's probably from the wrong hole.
Yeah,
But
I'm all right. I'm
it's a
out. Chief.
timing thing.
Ew.
Um,
Hey, Ellie over here like.
damn, I don't know how to follow that up. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, like, have you been on like or tried to do like some kind of like dating scene or like go
Like a
like
cute girl
how
in
do you
class,
like
jujitsu
how
class?
do you find yourself
Yeah.
as being? I mean, I'm not gonna say approachable, but I'm gonna say how do you put yourself on the scene to make yourself kind of marketable for women? Like, do you go to like the
It's a dating
bars?
show, like.
Do you go to
FarmersOnly.com.
yeah farmers only?
ChristianMingle.com. I don't know. It wasn't working out. It's like,
Or do you have a
eHarmony.
place for this right now? Maybe these are the years that you do have to be somewhat selfish. And like, look, I'm not, I have my 30s, my late 20s.
But he
whatever.
just said, he's open for it. He just
yeah, I do have a place for it. I see like I know he's an asshole, but Conor McGregor, he has D. Devlin and that person that's standing there by his side, supporting him the whole way through.
While he fucks strippers from London. The whole
And
shit.
there's a lot of me that wants that because I have a lot of motivation, but there are days where I could really use something like that by my side. Like, yo, I believe in you. You can do this. Like, keep going. Because some days it gets hard. And
Oh, it helps,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's I would really like that. I want someone around for the journey, but
What's the cost
that'll
benefit
happen.
for that? Because they can also be an asshole.
yeah,
training.
that
That's
won't
part of my
last
language.
long.
Female, we gonna say.
You gotta be
I'm worried, but-
ready to deal with all of the shit. So I mean,
Wise
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if if you're ready to be along for this journey, because I think it's gonna go big, then hop on. But if you
Say
don't,
hop on
people
his
who are always
dick.
training, who are always training and doing that shit, you're looking at the wrong person.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, just
Yeah, we always say that. Hey, you want to put his tag underneath so the ladies can go know where to find him at.
Yeah,
go ahead.
my
We're gonna
fake
put it up there,
manager.
and then we gonna come on, Nick. You're taking too long. My bad. And then everybody gonna point down once he do it.
Oh, there
There
we
it
go.
is. Everybody point down to his little tag. Ladies, yeah.
My
So-
yeah,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, you said mine.
My fake manager process, Pete, he trains at the gym with us. He's real cool. He's like, since I'm walking out with the Shawn Michaels theme song, he's gonna pretend to be like my Paul Heyman or whatever his name was.
These are
And
pro wrestling
yeah,
references.
yeah.
I remember Paul.
And he's gonna have a
Undertaker,
shirt that
right?
says the
Yeah.
Filipino flashes single, and then wear it to the bars. So I think that's gonna be pretty
It's
funny.
a smart fucking move,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. So
Hey,
we're
I
gonna
You're
do
a
ain't
that.
handsome guy, you're not ugly. You
Yeah.
can fucking fight. Women like that, right, Ellie? Look at Vince.
Yep.
Handsome guy can fight. Humor. Shows everybody's boss.
Right?
side.
He's cut and everything like that, man.
No doubt.
Shit. Why wouldn't a female want you on their arm? I know he can kick your
Sweet,
ass.
sweet car.
And I
Got
can
nice
cook.
Tesla.
I found a
cook
lot.
too?
Huh?
You can cook.
Yeah, cook
Let's
and bake.
talk about
See, yeah.
cooking. What else?
Cook and bake really well. I was in culinary school to start
You're
with.
a baker and you're a pro fighter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's
Could you
clash the
imagine?
stereotypes. What's your favorite thing to bake?
Honestly,
cookies.
I do make some really good chocolate chip
All right,
cookies.
you
I
better
made
bring a
some
batch in
yesterday.
the next time.
I
I ain't
might
gonna
have
fight you,
some
but
in
I'll
my
shoot you.
car. I
So.
don't know. I think I might have a Tupperware container in there. Because I brought a full tray to the party yesterday, and I think the Tupperware container might be in there. So afterwards, yeah, if it is in there, I'll bring some. But yeah, runs in the family. One uncle owns, been a chef for 30 years. The other uncle owns 3 restaurants, and then I inherited that. So like, I maybe would open a restaurant after the fighting career's done. But yeah, I
You should
love.
do
What kind
now
of
with
restaurant
that.
would you open up?
So I wanted to like renovate an old Japanese steakhouse, like hibachi place, and turn into a breakfast restaurant.
Oh, please.
So like,
Hey man, fuck this fighting shit, man. Fuck Vince.
so
Do this now.
so
Let's
yeah,
start this right
like,
now.
Shut
put a-
your
put a
greedy
bunch of,
ass up.
have a bunch of TVs all over the place and like old comics and make it really colorful and like have old cartoons playing all over the place and make it feel like you're a kid watching cartoons on Saturday morning with your family.
That's dope.
And like yeah, they'd cook breakfast food in front of you, and then the bar would be like cereal and coffee and shit like that. Like when I was in hospitality management, that was the restaurant I wrote up, so I already have a business plan for it.
Ooh.
Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
I think I can make you famous. Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out.
I think I can make
Everybody
you
check this
famous.
out. Everybody, are we checking this out, guys? No. Imagine him in his like MMA gear, right? So you got your shorts on with your gloves,
Yeah.
but you do this like I don't know, 5 or 10 minute YouTube videos where you talk about like baking cookies and shit. But you're the monotone, stereotypic MMA fighter. He's like, you know, you're gonna need 1 cup of flour.
Got tribal
You
tattoo.
need some, yeah, like everything is MMA fighter, but he's fucking baking cookies. But if you're really good at doing it, people are gonna like it. But you know, then the women are gonna like it. I would watch. That's kind of. I like that.
I did one cooking thing on.
I think that would be
on my
kinda dope.
Snapchat.
It's weird as shit, but it's.
And
funny.
then look, you can
It's
put like
this
the
dude
little,
is an MMA
you can
fighter.
put like
he's
the little
pulling
bread
out
roll in
fucking
like an
cookies.
arm bar and shit. And
Yeah,
then
he's
just
like,
flip
you know,
around and then start
He
rolling
just bring,
cookies and
like
shit.
technique talk in the middle of it. Like it's kind of it's different. I haven't seen that.
And
shit.
then look when you need to close the oven and shit, you just hit like
Yeah,
a
just
flying kick or some shit.
Flying, crane kick. Like
Might be a
Conchita.
terrible idea. Who knows?
Yeah, you
I
might
wanted
break
to
your
do
foot on
something
it,
like
but-
that, like I don't know, maybe shirtless, wearing MMA gloves, and yeah,
I'm telling you, bro, it might work. If
there
Vince
we
can
go.
say
Vince
something
can be a
inappropriate
part
in
of
the
it.
background.
He'll be the narrator. We'll take my monotone voice out, and Vince will be the voiceover.
Yeah, there you go. That works. That's teamwork will make the dream work, won't it?
So Vince, you grappling now. Any reason why? Are you doing that now? Because we know you have a pretty rich, deep background in kickboxing. Are you doing that just for your own edification, or is it like I want to help my students even more, so maybe I should jump back into this room?
Partially that, I think. Partially, I mean, me and the guy Barry made a little agreement last week because our guy Barry moved down to Georgia, and he's his jiu-jitsu coach. He's a phenomenal fucking dude. We were talking last week. We went out, and I was like, I'll put the gi on next Saturday when you come back to get your black belt if you do Muay Thai class. So he did Muay Thai class. I put the gi on. I actually had a lot of fun though, and at one point I was decent at jiu-jitsu. Like I have a blue belt.
You're a blue belt, yeah.
Yeah, I'm decent. I just kind of wanted to try something new. Like I haven't really trained for myself in quite a while. Like I mean, I'll spar with the guys plenty, and like I have good days with that. But like I really don't train anything. I'm not really learning as much as I did at one point. Even as coaching now, like I learn as I coach, but I'm not getting anything for just myself. I'm not being
Right.
selfish, learning myself. So like, it was just cool to put it back on, and like I got a little schedule mapped out that I'm gonna kind of train that a little more. It's just something new to learn.
Nice.
But I am decent on the ground. I mean, I'm lazy with it. That's kind of the main thing.
Shit, I'm lazy with it.
You know, but yeah.
You guys ever roll it off?
Yeah, he kicks my ass. Yeah, he's really
Really?
Good. Yeah, don't let the size. Yeah, he's
No.
good.
I understand. Listen,
Kicks my
in
ass.
jiu-jitsu, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
It's an art where the little guy can outpower or outmaneuver a
No,
bigger
not
guy.
bad, but he kicks my ass. Yeah.
How's it like rolling with somebody bigger like that? Now, answer like for a layman, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Obviously, I got a white belt that I bought from Walmart.
You better not make me sound like
He
shit.
said that I
The-
bought from Walmart.
the weight certainly matters, and I can tell that he has good technique and strong hips because he does a lot of kickboxing. But since I was so small growing up and good at jiu-jitsu, they always had me as the kid who was 15, weighed like 80 pounds, and would go beat the shit out of a grown man. So I've been, since I was 15, grappling with much bigger people. So I'm used to it. I don't know.
How quickly could you beat Marvin's ass?
What?
He
Not
seems
Marvin,
like
but
he
if
seems like
Marvin-
a nice guy.
He's a great guy, but
Yeah.
if you could crush
why
his
you gotta kick
soul,
my ass?
you could take his body, and then after you beat
I'll
him,
give
you
you a
open
cup
his
of water,
butt
like,
cheeks
here you
and
go.
just-
Leave Marvin alone.
Leave me alone.
Leave Marvin alone.
How would I do it? Is
Yeah,
that
how
how
would you
you're
do it?
asking?
Yeah. And then you can do it for me too.
Twist his dick.
What's your go-to? Single leg?
I'd probably
High crotch?
shoot in for a double or a high C, and pick them up and flip like Daniel Cormier, flip them and then throw them on their head, and then hopefully go from there. But I'd rather punch someone because that's probably going to end it a lot quicker. I might run the risk of getting hit by their friend or something. Well, I've never been in a street fight though, but my mentality's
No, you got crazy in you. You're
yeah,
good.
Yeah, we already know if you smiling walking into a goddamn fight, you got crazy in you right
There's
there.
definitely a screw loose with all the fighters. Like to want to do this, and then especially since I don't get nervous, I do a lot of yoga to help with that. I really recommend that for any competitor. That's another reason why I don't get nervous. Yoga helps so much for everything, just in life in general.
So you like meditate? I mean, besides like the actual yoga, but do you like meditate and do like visualizations or anything like that? Like that help you cope with anything else other than?
I've tried, but it's super difficult to completely clear your mind and just think at the task at hand, because then you'll have another thought come into your head and you're like, fuck, I got to restart. So I did a little bit, but it's super hard. When in yoga, they have you do Shavasana, which is like laying down and just breathing. And during that, I visualize, but that's only for like maybe 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Let's talk some fights.
All right.
Fight time. Yeah. Khabib, Tony, who's going to win and how?
Ferguson with TKO.
It's pretty good because our Dash right here has some grappling experience.
And
has
this
some
is where they
striking.
lose me.
It's kind of, you know.
Khabib's gonna fuck him up.
Think so?
Third or fourth round stoppage, because if you watch his fight with Kevin Lee, he got taken down and mounted and ground and pounded
Tony.
really bad.
Yeah, right,
yeah,
right.
and if that was Khabib and he was able, like Khabib would take him down at will and make him his bitch. He'd be like, what time is it? And fucking make him his bitch. That's all I.
Do you think maybe that happened because he was kind of sleeping on?
I think Kevin Lee's really
Kevin-
fucking good.
he's
I
really
think
good.
People kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
sleep on him
that's
'cause
another
he
thing,
has a cardio problem, but like I think Kevin Lee could give anybody in that division a serious fucking fight. I don't really.
So
I
what's your
think
predictions?
I think Ferguson could stop him late or win a decision. I think the Iaquinta fight was a really worrisome thing for the Khabib, like the whole Khabib thing, because he faded as that fight went on. He kind of let go of the takedown. He was getting hit. He's getting hit a lot, and Iaquinta's hands are terrible. I don't know. I just think Ferguson's a fucking nightmare to fight for 5 rounds. I think Khabib's gonna maul him for 2 or 3. He might just win, but like,
Oh shit.
I think I don't know. I think Ferguson's a tough fight, man. I don't know. That guy's nuts too. That's another guy that's fucking absolutely nuts.
Crazy. I like that. I think it
You look at the little
relates good to
graphic.
his
There's a
fighter.
graphic going around. Like the last 9 opponents he's had at the end of the fight, they all look like they've been smashed with a fucking hammer.
Damn. You want my prediction too?
Yeah.
Oh sure.
watch MMA?
Ravens win 35 to 10.
Ravens win 35.
Did they play today?
They did.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Lamar
the
for
game
MVP.
started. Yeah.
We're almost done here.
They're in.
Look, no, I wasn't rushing. I was just figured I'd make it funny. Fuck it.
Cowboy
He's getting knocked
versus.
out?
Damn, I didn't even say who he's fighting yet.
That's not-
Sorry, Cowboy.
That's a weird fight too, because like I think Connor's been out of it for so long. I think Cowboy's
At 170.
way better fucking grappler than Connor is. He's a way better grappler. I don't give a fuck
Nasty.
what it says. But he doesn't move his head enough, and he does kind of choke under the pressure a little bit with the big fights. I think Connor wins by knockout, but I mean,
Knockout.
it's just not a fight I give a fuck about, honestly. I'm gonna care because it is Connor. He's coming back, but why doesn't Gaethje get that fight? Like, I feel like
Gaethje, I've been
you
hearing
can't give
Gaethje's
Connor the
complaints too.
fucking #1 contender after that and not give him Gaethje. Gaethje just knock him the fuck out, like, you know.
I think it sets up Gaethje for the inevitable because Gaethje's going to Gaethje, right?
Yeah, but like,
So he's going to get him eventually.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't.
Maybe he might be at a better.
So what happens with
Stage.
Gaethje now? Because Connor, let's say Connor beats him, he's gonna fight fucking Khabib. Who does Gaethje fight?
I don't think he's going to fight Khabib.
Khabib
Yeah,
don't
said
want
it.
it. Khabib said he
Yeah,
doesn't
Khabib
want to.
did say he won't
He
do
said
it.
he ain't giving him a
I
title
think
shot.
he's going to go for that BMF title and try to get some shine off of that and then go into like a Khabib
Whoop
fight.
his ass.
Oh, it's going to be
That
real
fight will
nasty.
be ignorant. Yeah.
Real
Ignorant
fucking
fight.
nasty.
Yeah.
What's up with this the Bada fight versus Rico? How fucking crazy! It was a kickboxing fight that came on the other day.
Dude. Fuck, that was crazy.
You got a little backstory you want to tell everybody about it?
Bader and Rico,
Yeah.
yeah. Bader was like the
He's like a gangster too,
mid
right?
2000s. Yeah, like he like beat. He did something like he was like fucking the king of Morocco's fucking wife or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, nobody
Damn.
Nobody actually
Real
did anything
gangster,
about
bro.
it.
Like
something like that.
he could fight, but he's a real
Yeah.
gangster.
Like he
outside
got
of that shit.
disqualified in the K1 Grand Prix back in the day for stomping on
Shit.
a guy's head when he was winning the fight. He's a fucking nut, and he's a little older. And Rico's like not lost in 10 years now. He's a star. I thought Bader was whooping his ass though.
He was
Like,
looking-
Rico looked good, but there's fucking the big right hand in the first round, the head
Yeah.
kick in the third round. Like it was on the way to being over. Like, but,
You know what? When he caught that last head kick and he kind of pushed him down, it was weird because I
Yeah.
thought that was gonna like take him out,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he looked like he was kind of coming back.
Like yeah, I
then
think
he
he was
fucking got
still
that
there.
injury.
Rico's
Is it
still
froze?
dangerous. Yeah, is it froze? I
It
don't
does this
know.
weird thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
shit.
I don't know.
You go, keep talking.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good fight. I know when Badr threw the weird wheel kick, everybody was kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, why is he throwing that? I'm like, he's knocked people out with that before. So, oh god, are we still on?
No, we're still good. We're still good.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Um,
When are you
so
coming in for a class, bro? When are you gonna come into ground control?
really, listen. If it's not this, and if it's not my,
Well, if you can, give me an early advance notice, so then that way I can try to
you
plan
can go by
my schedule.
yourself. Listen, when they come on the
No,
show,
no,
once
fuck
you
you.
meet them, you can set it up and train. We had Josh from Capital. Not
Capital,
yeah, Capital.
No,
The other College Park, yeah, the other day, and I'm my buddy right here, Marvin. As you can see, he's in pretty good fucking shape.
There's a really nice gym next door too, Exile Fitness. It's where they have a shit ton of like the
Oh,
power.
you guys
Next
are
to
right
your
out
gym?
there. Okay.
But they moved. They like upgraded, so it's big as fuck now.
Oh
It's
yeah, I heard about that.
nice gym.
Yeah, you're always welcome. I'm trying to get down there, man, but it's just so much shit I'm doing right now. But I want to come because first of all, the gym look dope as shit.
Gym's dope,
The bag, how are the bags too hard?
No, honestly, everybody's just beating the shit out of them to the point where they're kind of softening up now. At first, yes, they were hard as fuck, but honestly, like the first month,
That's what she said. It's like-
The first month, it like took me a while to get used to having all the space and shit because we were like in a small gym, and then jiu-jitsu would be right after my class, so it was like a whole like clusterfuck getting extra work. Now we got a ring, we got our whole side of the mat, we got our, like everything,
Right.
and we're kind of like spoiled with it, honestly, but it's good. It's
Nice.
fun to train there.
So, Coach Vince, Shawn, the killer, you scared me, bro. But no, you're a nice guy. You're a very nice guy, but I can tell you want to hurt everybody.
Yeah, like he look like
I
he
can
look
tell. Not even here so much. But like
you look like a nice dude, but you look like the type that like I kill you.
I can't mean that shit, bro. Where you guys taking this? Oh, you already pro.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Are you really trying to like Premier Leagues, the 1FCs, the
Yeah,
fucking
that-
PFLs, Bellator?
Can I
Yeah,
Amigos-
one
can
FC
Amigos this
is
shit?
one FC is my goal.
Ice.
John Rollo is the owner of
Big
Ground
John.
Control, and he's
Let's get John.
he's going to be talking to Henzo Gracie to find out the roadmap. But I talked to Ong Lion Song, who's the 2-weight champion, because
Yeah,
I know him.
he's a trainer out of
Crazy 88.
Crazy 88.
So
Yeah.
that's where I
Mo!
started
One of
at,
my
and
first
we're
classes with him.
friends. So he said probably once you get to 5 or 6, we'll probably get you there. So that's the roadmap. Take it one fight at a time, and I think if I make it over there, I'll blow up. Like they will not regret signing me. That's my goal. I want to go to 1 fight till I'm about 30 to 32, then get out and start my own businesses, whether it be an academy or a restaurant or whatever, because you can't do this for too long. I'd like the Andre Ward approach. He got out undefeated and then retired at 32 he can still talk fine. He's very articulate, and he made his mark in boxing that no one can take away. So I'd rather retire early and then say I did it.
Are you bilingual as well?
No, my mom never
What
taught
the
me.
fuck, bro?
Bisexual.
Shit.
I like when Vince say shit. I look at Ellie. She's like, Jesus Christ.
She like
She remind me
Jesus.
of Mo.
Like how? Like I
We
got.
love y'all.
I
We
got.
know why
Look,
y'all love us
the
back.
shit is so funny because just knowing how he is. I mean, well, meeting him the couple times that I have, and knowing that he's been around this motherfucker, which I know he's
It's
in.
the wildest fucking classes.
So I'm sitting over here looking at you, and I'm like, yeah, that's Mo right there. Like that's his wife all the time. Like,
It's gonna be dope, man. Seeing you over in fucking 1FC. Like,
Oh man, that's gonna be some shit. Like,
oh,
that's
I
not
know.
Vince, where you from? Dundalk? Where you from, Vince?
I'm from Hamilton.
Yeah, I fuck with
Like,
you.
just say fuck him.
He's like, yeah, he's like,
Basically
Dundalk.
Dundalk.
That's gonna be dope, man. Seeing you knowing how you've progressed and you're this coach now, and you're bringing fighters in here, and they're evolving and becoming great,
And I got a
and you're
question
just
for him,
fitting
too.
into it.
So my thing is, I want to know, being as though you see how your fighters are, and you go in the train. Now, how much behind the scenes work do people not realize that you go into to kind of help prepare your fighters? Like whether it be taking videos and then researching how they might move, where they
Watching
might
tape and shit.
watching film, or looking at other fighters and picking up different techniques, whether it be grappling or whatever the case may be. Like, how do you kind of like help them with your behind the scenes methods?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the gym all fucking night, like literally from the time we're both free during the day, and we're the last ones to leave. I'm working with guys from there. You can ask her. I'm literally fucking watching fights until 2 a.m. some nights and just picking up little things, playing around with that stuff. I don't let anybody spar in the gym without watching their rounds. I'm not just like letting people spar and walking by. Like, I watch every single round, and people kind of rotate in and out. I hold pads for all the guys that are fighting. I kind of give them little suggestions and shit like that. I feel like if I'm going to take the time and like, look, if this guy wants to go to 1FC and fight in fucking Asia, that's a pretty big leap. So I need to kind of give a shit a little bit to hopefully help him get there. So, I take a lot of like effort into that. I don't just kind of like hold my pads, tell him to get out of the ring, and kind of move on from there. Like I do put a lot of effort into it, see what works for him, what doesn't work. I feel like you need to take a lot of stock in somebody if you want to give a shit and actually coach them. So yeah, there's a lot of time put in, but I mean, I fucking love it. I don't mind at all.
Right. No, I mean, it's something that you love to do, and I mean,
It gets exhausting, though.
obviously, it's fucking paying off.
No,
You know,
I mean, he's good.
it's helping.
Yeah, I mean, that fucking lava lamp could probably coach him to be pretty good. So I'm not gonna take too much credit. But, yeah,
No, I mean, you got to take credit when it's due. I tell Nick to do the same shit. Just take your credit.
It's good that he's humble though, man, because
Yeah.
a lot of times, I guess why your relationship works so well is that everyone plays their part, and it's
Yeah,
no like
yeah.
me, it's us,
Yeah,
and that's really, really important in any kind of relationship, right?
No, it's definitely true. I had a
gotta be
weigh in
able
with
to,
my
like,
client
to
earlier
understand.
today.
Because you'll get leg kicked by him the following week.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
yeah.
you need to kick more, bitch. I've told him
know.
this. He hits like a fucking truck, but his leg kicks are really fucking scary.
Apparently,
Yeah, because I was looking at his
Doesn't like
tattoo
kicking.
on his hand, right? And then I was like,
Doesn't
he
like
got a
kicking.
crown on this motherfucker. So that shit means a little something different, right? Because I'm like, if he hit somebody with that with a crown on the back of his hand, that means all this shit right here just got to be dislocated or
Vince
something.
punches hard, but he kicks scary. And I don't know if I've ever seen you like full blast kick either. I know you kick hard,
Yeah,
but I think like you always, when I've seen you kick a back where it's like a kick,
Sometimes
because I'm
put
gonna
it there.
punch you.
I think like
I never
the-
seen you like like if someone
Yeah.
like if you sat down with like a Rico for like
Yeah.
a month, what the
Yeah.
fuck would happen?
I think like if I'd have kicked more in fights, I'd have probably knocked a lot of people.
You're not
out
everybody out,
more
bro.
like, but I don't know. I feel like more like the low kick is more just like putting it there quick. If I can put it on that quad a few times, just throw it quick. I kind of had to adjust my low kick the last few years, but it was like putting it on the quad a few times, just kind of quick. It's just about placement. Like I feel like just sitting and ripping, you can kind of anticipate that a little bit more. It's like throwing a quick Deontay Wilder straight right hand or fucking loading it and bringing it
Right.
from here. That quick one's gonna land a little
Yeah,
more
yeah.
flush.
What you don't see.
So, you know, like Bader and Rico, like I feel like Rico's are kind of quick. Like I feel like Rico throws that really quick to the point.
Inside too.
But yeah, I mean, I kick hard. I wish I'd have used him a little more when I was competing, but yeah.
Kick Ellie. Don't kick Ellie.
No,
When's the next fight?
unless you want to hit him in a body bag.
We're in April 18th.
Yeah, April
It'll be
18th.
actually the day that
Her-
he
her-
fights Ferguson.
She looks like she has an Italian dad that'll put you in a box quick.
Alright,
No, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
That's even worse.
He's gonna be drunk when they do it.
In the best way possible. In these
In the
words.
best way. Look, I just watched Irishman. That movie was really
That's
good.
good.
April 11th,
18th.
18th.
We'll celebrate twice that night.
Shogun.
It's 2 days after my 24th birthday. So
Okay.
Hey, you know.
It's going. I mean, as I said, I visualize losses a lot in my head, but hopefully it goes my way because you never know what's gonna happen. You know, so hopefully it goes my way and then we celebrate.
We
twice.
know we know you'll replay the fight in your
Yeah,
head
yeah,
about
like,
100,000 times.
Do
So.
you know who you're fighting?
No, I don't think
Okay.
Raleigh's even like Raleigh doesn't do the matchmaking until after the new year. Yeah, but you guys should come out.
Yeah,
Last
let us
time we went
know.
out to Crossbar for his after party, Katrina from A&P was there. Like
Okay.
she works there. Yeah, no, it was cool. Yeah, he did really well in his first fight. So we're hoping to get Shogun in April. Maybe like a trip to Hard Knocks for Henry Hoof. We're gonna go down there for a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
that's Florida, right?
Yeah. Coconut. I think it's
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Maybe
Nice
the
spot.
June or July.
Spawn with Michael Chandler or something.
All right, yeah, fun. The MGM Shogun in July or June, and then maybe like another one from there. We're hoping to be 4-0, 5-0 by the end of the year. So like, and kind of map it out from there. So
Then one FC.
Nice.
yeah. And he's
Bro.
he's teaching jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Come to my class on Tuesdays.
This is what we need to do. We gotta go to a few fucking classes.
Got
We
to.
gotta come up with some 2020 schedule and we just go
Come to a few more
check
time
people
places.
out. Just come, especially him talking to this guy, cause I trained him. I trained him, so that don't do shit. But I want him to like to come in like and to see all of this shit. Especially some grab and get tied up by this guy. I record it, make fun of him.
Hold pads.
He's
for all
gonna
you
beat
Shit, I
the
want-
shit out of you, man.
Why would I hold?
Marvin, he's
First of
gonna
all,
fuck you up.
why would I go anywhere near that guy? Like, first of all, like in anybody's gym? No,
I can't wait to see this shit.
no, I'm not doing it.
Well, look, man.
Like my
I'm
teeth.
excited.
They all right.
I see
My
great things
nose.
coming. Please keep us updated anyway. Let us know when the fights are coming. Tickets, if we can purchase them, we'll purchase them. And I'm just excited to fucking see you in 1FC one day, and we look back at this.
Yeah,
It's gonna
Yeah.
be dope as shit.
It's gonna be
Fucking
dope as
Vince
shit.
Over there,
It'd be hilarious.
Hey,
bro.
yeah. You know Vince is gonna be like,
like you're fucking Vince. It's Vince.
Oh,
Fucking
man.
Vince, bro.
I already told him, man, when he gets that first knockout in 1FC, I'm going to do something that gets me not allowed back on TV. And I was like,
Vince, listen, you work.
I believe
You
it.
come too far, you work too hard. Don't do it to
Hey.
yourself.
It'll be not safe for us.
Because they won't let you.
Not safe for eyes.
not fit for eyes. You never know.
Let's give them how they can reach you. Look, you're a coach, right?
I am a coach.
Coach as well. they want to reach you guys for classes, privates, any kind of information regarding ground control, whatever, how can they find you?
My Instagram's Mosca43. My nickname, Jesus Christ. My Facebook name is Vince Mosca. Yeah, coach at ground control on Pulaski Highway. I only charge $1,000 for 10 minutes of a private lesson. So let me know if you want to pay me money.
That's a deal.
It's a good deal.
Where can they catch you, brother?
And then the Filipino Flash MMA on Instagram.
Dope-ass name,
And then
too, by the way.
my dad gave it to me. It's
I like
after the Flash Lord, who was a boxer way back in the day. Not Nonito Donaire, but the Flash Lord. He gave it to me when I was like 10, even before I started training. Then the name you see up there, that's my Facebook name. I'm the only person with my name, so it's easy to find. You can message me, or
Are
you
you
know.
actually the only person in the world with your name?
I'm the only person with my
Nerd.
yeah.
He googled it.
So add me on there and then ask me anything. I'm willing to share my knowledge. So whatever you want to know, or just come to the gym and I'll answer whatever you need to know. And we have fun classes, so come try it out at Ground Control.
I'm trained, yeah. I'm a really ignorant coach, so I feel like
You're a great coach, Vince.
everybody likes being there.
Yeah,
You're a
look
great
out for
coach,
that
man.
fucking crown.
Listen,
on
your
his head,
style
bro.
is for some people, and your style may not be for some people, but that's
Yeah.
not what we're here for.
To
And
each
anything
his
like,
own.
right?
To
Some
each
people
his
like
own.
McDonald's, some people like Burger King.
You better not like either, motherfucker.
Some are like both in about 10 minutes. I do another thing too. I want to do, and I want to start jujitsu, but I want to do gentle jujitsu. You know,
Gentle.
fuck up knee. And I hear sometimes when you like roll them with certain people, everybody want to like fuck it. You guys not do that. Like I want to, but I don't want to like learn the arm bar by like my arm getting broken. I want to like learn.
Go with
I
the
think-
black belts.
Anybody can
That's what I keep hearing.
Go with the black
yeah.
belts because the white belts will spaz. If you go with the black belt, they will literally kick your ass and then say, "Okay, this is what you did."
Yeah, that's what
They
I.
don't
That's
kick
what,
your ass violently.
Yeah,
it's
they'll
like
do
they showing you. You don't.
Yeah.
I think no matter what your physical restrictions are, you can probably do jiu-jitsu. You just want to be smart about it. Don't just roll with everybody. Don't do everything 1,000%. But
Yeah, I don't care being a pussy. I don't care, bro. I gotta
Right.
fucking work in the morning.
jiu-jitsu guys got hella injuries, man.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Neck and back and
Fucking
knee and shit. So I don't
tendons
want
and shit.
that.
Yeah, everything's all fucked up.
And you want me to go to class with your ass? So,
Well, bitch, look, deadlifts. We didn't fuck each other up from deadlifts.
Oh, hell yeah. I ain't even gonna lie, shit.
Press and fucking. So
I was
get it
deadlifting the
regardless.
other day and I ain't wearing no fucking back brace. My lower back was tight as a bitch.
Mona ain't getting no sex. Hey, close us out, Mom.
All right, so once again, hold on. Let's give him a round of applause for our guest one more time, man.
Going on one FC's going on one.
Woo!
Everybody pitch your nipples right now. Fucking pinch them. One FC. Fucking.
He didn't do it. She didn't do it. I'm snitching.
Ellie did it. She did it inside.
When I make it there, I will come back on.
This one will be
Yeah.
on
He's
it, bro.
going
Hey,
all
look.
the way till he
Nah.
gets there. This
I'll
motherfucker.
come further,
Okay.
way earlier. But yeah, like have me on again. This was a lot of fun. So
We appreciate you, man. And,
Definitely appreciate it.
When I say we're honored, we're honored.
Thank
He
you.
really
I
means it.
respect martial artists because you guys are always cool, you're humble, and you can kill me. So I have
Yeah.
no choice, right? I
Everybody
guess
has an extra laptop. Sean got his broken after his fight.
Oh,
so-
Jake Wilkes actually hooked me up. Yo,
Was that the story?
yeah.
Ah,
I just wanted some pizza and then my laptop got broken. Isn't that fun?
It's because Darren Till pulled off the upset.
Yeah.
Like I said he would.
And you broke your laptop over?
No, she like this crazy
Hey,
lady
it's
slapped it
all
out of
right.
my
Ah, yes,
hand.
that's
right.
what
You
we're
know, we
talking
watch
about.
Okay,
every
all right,
day.
gotcha. Okay,
Basketball
yeah, I
season,
gotta watch the
baseball
football
game
game. So,
happened.
all right. So, once again, thank these gentlemen for coming on. Make sure y'all check out their Instagram and their Facebook pages. Make sure you follow these guys. Awesome, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gentlemen. Make sure you catch out my host, Nick So Loud on Instagram.
I'm not
Nick,
loud, bro.
you starting to show off. Oh! Right? No?
Really
Okay.
gotta be
All right. And then make sure I'm on Instagram myself, MG2_fit. Make sure y'all check us out on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the post notification so you know exactly when we're going live. At Not Safe for Ears. If you want to email us, notsafeforears@gmail.com. Catch us on all your big platforms. Make sure y'all check us out. And we out, bitch!
Hey,
Hit the button, fucker.
button dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy.
Oh,